generally I have a pastor, a preacher, or somebody who is ultimately experienced in prayer. And Lexi, I've watched grow up from just this cute little bitty thing at the Methodist Church, and want to express my appreciation to your mom and her two best friends that have been at church as parents and mentors for as far back as I can remember. So I hope you'll give us the invocation, then I'll probably brag about you a little bit more.
Thank you. Please bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, I pray for this council meeting as we gather here tonight to make decisions for our beloved city. Grant our council members understanding, wisdom, and unity as they discuss the matters that affect our community. May their actions be guided by fairness, compassion, and the common good. Bless each council member and grant them the strength to serve with integrity. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Lexi. Mandy, did you want to take a picture? Okay. Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate you. Lexi's a student at George Walton Academy. During a winter semester, or winter few weeks, they do internships in and around the city, county, and or state. Lexi did hers at the First Methodist Church, so she's already practiced. Thank you. Call this meeting to order. This is February 13th, 2024. It's Miss Julie Howard's birthday, so I'm going to try to be quick tonight. Let the record reflect that all members of council are present. I believe we have Miss Malcolm on the phone. You there, Lee? And Mr. Boyce will be unable to attend tonight. The agenda needs to be amended to add item 1, statewide mutual aid agreement under section 4 of new business. Could I have approval of the agenda with that change? I have a motion by Ms. Sams. Is there a second? A second by Ms. Brown. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. That passes. Moving to the approval of the consent agenda. This is the council minutes from January 9th and 18th, executive session minutes from the 9th, Planning Commission, Historic Preservation, Downtown Development, and Convention and Visitors Bureau from the 14th, the 19th, and the 21st. I need approval of the consent agenda, please.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion by Ms. Crawford. Is there a second? A second by Ms. Sams. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, thank you, Lee. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. That passes. Moving to public comments. Joy Wilson, I'm glad you're back.
For having me back. I've actually missed this place as a platform to develop some type of establishment for good communication skills
Yes, ma'am.
that will help me to be more realistic about how I'm going to be able, if at all possible, by God's grace, to achieve my goals in life for a bright future as a professional inspirational songwriter from Houston, Texas, with "We Need Something to Stand For" as the theme for my business profile. And I'm sticking with positive and productive change. Instead of distracting myself or anyone here with darkness that some people face, you know, in life you struggle, you go through things, but that doesn't mean there's no good stuff out there. And I faced a lot of challenges. Like I said, I'm glad to be back here. Thank y'all for having me. I got my little T-shirt made. Happy camper. But I am facing some challenges, and it's a homeland security issue.
Yes, ma'am.
To be mature and honest about it, about a place to stay. So I invested my own money into also a little bit of money that, you know, some of the community has shared with me about my music. And I thank y'all. That's why I'm back to say thank y'all. I have made progress, but the enemy been fighting on me, so I'm trying to pick myself up off the floor. I came to share something with y'all today, and I hope it touches your hearts in a positive way. It's called Focused Application. Are you able to endure the most trying of times? If all else were gone, except body, soul, and mind, on whom you could depend when things came to an end. Swiftly, so suddenly, I'd look for a friend to be loyal and trustworthy who wouldn't pretend that it really doesn't matter if our lives just fall apart, though every second counts to heal and mend the heart. Focused application that's more compatible to something realistic, reasonable, yet not so fanatical. Far above the surface of that, what will sustain us beyond an act concerning temporary things, aside from what the next day may bring? No more room to compromise what is written deep within our eyes, that once each goal is set, there is no turning back. Not then, not now, not never, not yet, to reach the full effect. Focused application. That's more compatible to something reasonable, realistic, yet not so fanatical. I love y'all to death, man. I can't even leave town anymore. I don't go to Houston or nothing. I'm just stuck in Monroe. But I'm looking for a legitimate opportunity to be able to get on my feet financially with my music, and I don't have any legitimate connections.
Right.
And I don't even want to waste y'all's time with the trouble that I've been dealing with about trying to stick with, you know, what I believe in as far as standards and principles and environment. I do my best to try to get along, y'all, and sometimes it doesn't work out. And I really don't need the trouble, but I'm trying to get myself together. And I just wanted to use this place as a platform to share what I can bring to the table instead of just, you know, acting like I can't communicate. But I just wanted to say thank y'all for y'all's time and support. And I
Thank you,
thought
Joy.
I'd stop by and say hi.
That was lovely. I appreciate you coming in. Thank you.
God bless y'all.
Yes, ma'am, you too. Moving to city administrator update, Mr. Probst.
Yes, sir. So, first and foremost, I kind of want to welcome Sandy Daniels, if you stand up back there. She's our new Main Street and Events Coordinator. She just started this week, and we're happy to have her, and she's going to be very, very busy as we prepare for the car show. That'll be our first big event. So, give her a round of applause. I'm just kidding. Secondly, we have Workforce Wednesdays that we've been doing, you know, a couple times a month. Les Russell has been heading that up. Tomorrow, we actually have an event right here in the council chambers. So if you would kind of get the word out to people who are seeking employment. We have a lot of jobs here in Walton County, and we've kind of partnered with the Walton County Development Authority, Walton Works, to get this program going, and we're just trying to connect job seekers to all of the jobs that are out there, particularly in the industries. But if you have any jobs available, friends, family, whatever, let us know. We'll be happy to pass those along. It's also a chance for people to work on their soft skills and enhance their resumes and things like that. So it's educational as well as trying to put them into the workforce. Other than that, the big ones that we have coming up are the SPLOST, which we'll get to in a little bit, and the YMCA Intergovernmental Agreement, or Development Agreement, rather. So we'll talk about that here in a little bit.
Good stuff. Are there any questions for Logan?
Tomorrow, it is 1 to 4 p.m.
Anything else? Chris Bailey, Assistant City Administrator, update, please.
I was looking really forward to embarrassing Sandy myself.
Oh, I was too.
I know. Logan beat us to the punch. But no, we would like to welcome her, and I appreciate everything you've done over just the 2 days that you've been here. It's been a great help to me. So you remember this past year, year before last, the state had started a study on T-hangers around and the waiting list and everything that we've had to submit. So they should be releasing that to all the regional and local airports here in the state. Hopefully, we were told by the end of this week. I expect it probably be the next week. We'll find out what the needs are, what the funding mechanisms are that are out there, and hopefully we can take advantage of some of those. leaf season with street stormwater ends this month on the official routes, and then it'll be by need, by what we see, by phone call, to get those last groups, piles of leaves up that stop drains up as it continues to rain. Our automated side loader, the second one that we have in the system in solid waste, came in, I think it was the end of December, early January, so we've got it rolling. That helps us out. It makes us more efficient as an operation. Let's see, we've got several bids out right now. We've got 2 TAP grant RFQPs that are out. That'll be due February 29th, and then we'll review and have to do a second part of them potentially. Our taxiway crack seal bid is out, will be due March 1st, and I'll bring that before council at the March meeting for approval. And then, car shows right around the corner, March 16th. We're busy planning that, getting everything situated. Our concert series is set for the year, posted that on social media, I think 2 weeks ago. And then our farmers market, it's also, we've changed name, changed logo. Dates have shifted a little bit, so we'll have our regular season that'll be April 6th through September 28th, and then we'll have a winter season that'll actually go November 2nd to December 14th, so that'll be a little bit different. And then our community cleanup day will be on April 20th, which is a couple of days before Earth Day, and coincides with the Great American Cleanup Week and Georgia Cities Week. And I'll be glad to take any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Bailey. Are there any questions for Chris? Hearing none, we'll move to department request. Mr. Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We recommend approval to charge a $15 service fee to customers to help cover the cost of collecting and disposing of mattresses that's set at the curbside inside the city limits. Right now, we're paying the vendor $30 per mattress and a $20 fee for box springs for disposal. We do have an agreement with the company that set up a 53-foot trailer on the property and charges $600 once it's filled up. Now, this fee is just for curbside only. The landfill charges us over $52 if they end up in a truck in a load. But we pass that cost on to haulers and customers if they come through the transfer station. And as of January this year, we picked up 124 mattresses. It cost us over $3,000. And all of last year, for 10 months of last year, we collected 1,336 mattresses on the curb. That cost us over $40,000. So I take any questions that you might have.
It's definitely a necessary charge. Are there any questions for Mr. Smith? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve the request.
A motion to approve by Mr. Dickinson. Is there a second?
Second.
I'm going to give that one to Ms. Sams. She beat you to it. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. That passes. Moving to new business, this application for beer and wine package sales at All Star. The applicant is Bibi Kanwal Rashdi, 1700 Bold Springs Road. Is this application in order, Ms. Rosenthal?
Yes, Mayor, it is.
Thank you. Is the applicant here? You can just probably stand right there. Are there any questions for the applicant, or I'll entertain a motion?
Move to approve.
I have a motion to approve by Mr. Gregory. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Thompson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. That passes. Moving, another beer and wine application, our package sales at North Monroe Food Mart LLC. This is Nikhil Agarwal, 452 North Broad Street. Is the applicant here? Is the application in order?
Yes, it is, Mayor.
Did you want to say something? Or these are generally, we pass them right through. Did you have a comment? Okay, thank you. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve, Mr. Mayor.
I have a motion by Mr. Thompson. Is there a second? Second. I'm going to give that one to Ms. Crawford. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. That passes. Application beer and wine package sales Marathon Food Mart. Applicants Nikhil Agarwal, 1135 East Church Street. Is the application in order, Mr. Rosenthal?
Yes, Mayor, it is.
Is the applicant here? So back to you. I'll entertain a motion. Have a motion by Ms. Crawford. Is there a second?
Second.
We'll give that one to Ms. Brown. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carries, that passes. Application for beer and wine on-premise consumption at Monroe Pizzeria. The applicant is Kurt Dool at 105 North Broad Street. Is this application in order?
Yes, it is, Mayor.
Thank you. Is the applicant here? I think he probably knew where we're heading with this. I'll entertain a motion.
Move.
Have a motion to approve by Ms. Sams. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Gregory. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carries, that passes. Moving to the resolution to the support of grant match application for the 2024 Historic Preservation Fund CLG Survey and Planning Grant. Mr. Calendar.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is the fourth installment or request for matching funds. This resolution is for to engage the application process to start those matching funds, and this will be the fourth and final survey for the historic preservation effort.
Thank you. Are there any questions regarding the resolution? Would anyone like to hear the resolution read? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to adopt the resolution.
Motion to adopt by Mr. Dickinson. Is there a second? A second by Ms. Second by Ms. Sams. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carries, that passes. Moving to the intergovernmental agreement to purchase DDA property, Mr. Probst.
Thank you, Mayor. So before you is an IGA that the Downtown Development Authority has already approved last week to transfer the properties that were purchased by the DDA. We've talked about it for some years now. On the Wayne Street block, we're buying, the DDA bought up the rest of the parcels behind the current Wayne Street parking lot around the water tower. And so now, they've secured a loan for it. So now we're transferring that title over to the city of Monroe's name, where we can finish the plan to enhance our parking in the long term, or medium term rather. So we can take ownership of that property, and pay off that note, and then we can proceed with parking enhancements.
Gotcha, thank you. Any questions for Mr. Probst? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
So move, Mr. Mayor.
Have a motion to approve by Mr. Thompson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Dickinson. Is there any discussion? Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carries, that passes. Moving to the 2025 SPLOST intergovernmental agreement renewal, Mr. Probst.
All right, thank you, Mayor. This kind of came up quickly. It was just a couple weeks ago, the county called for this 2025 SPLOST, which we have to do this year anyway if we want to renew it. But they want to get it on the May 2024 ballot. So they're adopting the same agreement tonight, as well as the other cities are doing it this week as well. And as you know, SPLOST is critical to pretty much everything we do. Everything we touch, capital-wise, for the most part, has some elements of SPLOST. And so we're not asking for a new tax. We're just asking for a continuation of the existing penny tax. And our project list that we've developed, we're looking at a couple different options here for us. So one option is, and this, bear with me, this is option one for the city of Monroe only. Public safety projects, vehicles and equipment, all that's capital. Transportation projects, Monroe Public Facilities capital improvements, and parks capital improvements. That's option one. Option two is a public safety split out, where we talk about the public safety elements as standalones. So we have fire department capital facilities, which more than likely would be a second fire station. Fire Department capital vehicles and equipment, Police Department capital vehicles, equipment, and facility upgrades, transportation projects, Monroe Public Facilities capital improvements, and park capital improvements. So really what I need is direction from you all as to which option you want, and then we can include that tomorrow morning with the county in its final format. I will caveat one thing, though, that yes, it may sell better to the public that we have it broken out, you know, fire facilities, fire equipment, and so on and so forth. It explains it well, but should the economy take a different turn, we are still beholden to this, and we must build, right, or we must purchase. So if you generally go with option one, you have public safety projects, vehicles and equipment, it's a little bit more flexible. It allows a little bit more room to operate as you need. But not to say that either one is a bad option, just your preference.
If we go with one, because one's more flexible.
Yeah.
We can specify our intent.
You can, it just won't be on the ballot.
Right.
As what your intent is. So your intent may be well noted here, it just may not be noted on the ballot as much, so.
What do you think?
Is there a way that, if we chose option one, which obviously that's more flexibility, as you said. Is there a way that we can kind of get the word out to the public that, you know, this is kind of what we'd like to do with the money if we receive all of it? I mean, I don't know all the legalities of what you can and can't do.
Yeah, you know, we can't promote a SPLOST, but we can only educate, right?
Right.
So there's a fine line there, so we have to be careful about that. And then you have to also think about the short timeline we're on too. It's not a lot of time for education. So
This is because of the May ballot.
that's because it's on the May ballot, right?
What is the plan to promote it to the citizens?
So we can't promote, but we can only educate. So you could, you know, talk to people about it, the virtues of the SPLOST renewal. But usually it takes a third party, volunteers, things like that.
But do we know who that might be, the third party that would help promote it?
You know, it's in the past, it's been in the chamber, but I don't know that we could get it all together with the chamber in 2 months to get a full campaign out. From their side.
And this is predominantly driven by the county.
Yeah.
So I think David and John have something in mind.
So I would be remiss if I didn't note that the county is doing a Tier 1 project as part of the SPLOST initiative. And a Tier 1 project means that if they have something like a jail, which qualifies, that they're entitled to take the money they need for the jail payments, in this case, up front. Now, we've negotiated the ability that we can still receive money this whole time, and they're just going to skim off what they need to make the debt service payments as we move along. So that's a win for us, that we're not going to go 2 or 3 years without any SPLOST funds. So they'll be getting $5.7+ million to make the jail debt service payments, which is fine. I think, you know, that's a very good thing for the SPLOST to fund in that it's the penny sales tax and not property tax. So it's really just your call which one you want to go with, option 1 or 2, and if you want to approve the IGA, right? So part and parcel, approve the IGA, and which option?
I think we need to approve it, obviously. I think we need to go with option 1. And just as an editorial comment, I wish this was going to be on the November ballot instead of the May ballot, because I think there'll be more turnout for that general election. But we got to go ahead and act on it. So unless there's further discussion, I'll make the motion to approve it with option 1.
I'll take a motion to approve with option 1. And a second by Mr. Thompson. Now, on the discussion side, you good with option 1? Those who didn't make motion or second?
I have a question. As the money comes in, does it go to a specific pot, or is it just in general, we can use it how we decide? So for instance, if we went with option 2 and you had the fire station, but you didn't need all that money right away because either the economy's growth slowed or people coming to Monroe slowed, any of that kind of thing, could you take care of the other things up front and then deal with the fire station later?
Yeah, so in many cases you can. You can also work out a loan where these SPOS funds can go and pay it back. So you can go ahead and start working on your fire station, build it, and then have the expenses
So then we could,
covered from SPOS.
so then how bad of a situation would we have to be into that option 2 would really put us in a bind?
I think it obligates us to spend money that we might not have.
Yeah. Yeah, so.
Isn't that what the SPOS is? Because we can, we can hold the SPOS money for an indefinite period of time?
Not indefinite, no. There's a certain provision that you can hold it for 5 or 6 years thereafter the end of the SPOS.
Yeah, and the SPOS runs for how many years?
This is a 6-year SPOS.
So then for 11 years, we would have, if the economy came and went, we would have the option to be able to use that money.
You could. I just want to caution, I'm not disagreeing with any of this. I just want to caution because, Walton County ran into this with the jail previously, raised, I think, $25 million, and then, the economy kind of tanked out, and they were still subject to build the jail, right?
And that is exactly why option 1 is a better option, I think. So, just maximum flexibility.
Yeah, my only concern is that people haven't been voting in the the SPOS or the T-SPOS, these kind of things. We haven't had a winning track record with these things in the last few years.
Well, they voted for the SPOS, not the T-SPOS. Two very different things. So,
And this is a continuation instead of a new penny.
not a new,
tax.
Extra penny, yeah.
So, any further discussion?
One thing, Mayor, from our side, that y'all approve this on your motion contingent to further final revisions with the county attorney, because we're still nailing down just a couple of provisions in this. This has been fast-tracked a little bit to get on this May ballot. Been working with all the cities, staff, and the city attorneys, so just subject to final revisions by city attorney's office.
So we have a motion to approve option 1, IGA, subject to final notes from the attorneys. Is all in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries, that passes. Thank you. Moving to the YMCA Development Agreement. We have a couple folks in the back. Ms. Putman and Mr. Hobbs. And thank you all so much for being here. And thank you for all the work that you've done and the raising of the money. And we know it's a labor of love, and we appreciate you being here. Mr. Probst.
All right, so we've been working on this development agreement for quite a while, and we're glad to get it to the finish line. So basically, the YMCA is acting in many regards as a community service organization, and as such, we thought that, we had the ability to partner with them just as many other jurisdictions have partnered with their own YMCA. So one of the things that, they came to us about was different levels of in-kind contributions and what we could do specifically on things like utilities and whatnot. Now, we can't change any rates, but we can do things like provide the transformer, which is in here. We can waive the sewer and water and gas tap fees. We can make sure we run, the connections to the appropriate areas of the development. And then waive bonding requirements that would normally be used for permitting purposes, and waive any future impact fees that may come about. So those are the gist items of the agenda. One other thing came to mind after the fact, and I want to thank some of the staff for pointing it out, is, well, if we approve this tonight, they're going to be ready to come in for permits. And I would like to add, if we could add after the fact, that we also waive the permitting fees, relatively minor in cost, but I want to make sure that that was kind of noted here, that this will help them fast-track this YMCA project.
Thank you, Logan. Are there any questions for Mr. Probst? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve by Mr. Gregory. Is there a second? We have a second to Ms. Sams.
With a clarification that it
The
does include
clarification,
the waiver.
waiving-
That it
waiving
does
the
include the
permit fees.
waiver. I make a motion to accept, including the waiver.
Thank you, sir. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carries, that passes. Whew. Thank y'all. Moving to infill development pilot planning projects funding request, Mr. Probst.
All right, thank you, Mayor. We've been talking about this for quite a while, and we've been, looking at different ways to encourage our infill development while also hoping to create a pathway for more affordable and attainable housing, particularly within our core where it's a walkable area. And one of the ways to do this is to work on a couple different things, pilot projects. Some of them will include off-the-shelf plan preparation by an architect. Others may include site design and architectural preparation of a cottage court, things like that. There's a lot we can do that we've talked about for the last couple of years. And so I'm asking for a budget allocation of $75,000 to come from the remaining ARPA funds that will get these pilot projects kick-started.
Sounds great to me. Are there any questions for Logan?
I'd just like to say I'm really excited about this. Been waiting a long time for it to get passed, and I would like to move to approve.
Nice motion, Tyler. Is there a second?
I second it.
Give that second to Mr. Dickinson. Is there any discussion?
Are these funds including architect drawings? You might have just said that, but is that where the funds are coming from to pay for some of these ideas and stuff?
Yes, sir. So if we take, this pot of money that we can use with some of these architects, what we're hoping is to have some good off-the-shelf, cottage designs that we can kind of sell for a very reasonable and low cost to somebody who wants to do a good quality infill development.
Great idea.
So motion carries and that passes. I did say all in favor, right?
No.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 We're all on the same page. I wrote it down. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. That passes. Statewide mutual aid agreement, Chief Dykes.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. What you have before you is the statewide mutual aid agreement. This is a formality that we must do every 4 or 5 years. Just signifies that we are entering into an agreement should we need mutual aid as to who may request it and how reimbursement and funding in the event of a disaster would occur.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Chief Dykes? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion. Motion to approve by Ms. Sams. Is there a second? Second by Ms. Brown. Is there any discussion?
And Carl Morrow's here, should you have any questions on this. Thanks for coming, Carl.
Thanks, Carl. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. That passes. Moving to district items, does anyone have anything to discuss? Lee Malcolm.
Not at this time.
Marcia Crawford. Mr. Boyce is not here. Ms. Sams. Adrian Brown. Tyler Gregory.
I'd just like to say thanks to Rodney and water and stormwater and sewer and everybody who jumped in with both feet, literally, and got all of our situation taken care of as far as flooding and all the different issues that are facing us. We especially appreciate that over in District 6 and how hard he's working to get everything sorted out, so we appreciate that.
Thank you, Tyler. Mr. Dickinson.
Just what Mr. Gregory said.
Mr. Thompson.
Nothing in our district. I am getting excited about the SPLOST. If it's passed, I'm looking forward to working on some sidewalks and getting those connected. So we'll be hitting y'all up as soon as the vote passes.
Thank you, Greg. I have just a couple things. Mike McGuire, Ron, who was installing fiber yesterday in the rain, I've had two people call me to tell me what a great job he did and how nice and personable and professional he is. So please pass that along. Mr. McClung is here representing our police department tonight because Chief Watts is unable to be here because his wife is the star teacher at George Walton. They're doing their program tonight, so Miss Kelly Watts. I also have Sandy Daniels, a reintroduction because that was on my list, Logan. And last thing, please keep in mind that as a government, our sole purpose as the government is to run services, whether it's utilities, water, light, gas, public safety, streets, drainage. GMA, Georgia Municipal Association, also has what's known as Georgia City Solutions, and that's a separate entity that's a nonprofit that has been put together to fight intergenerational poverty. We have a group here that we set up just a few months ago that Des Morris affectionately calls the World Domination Committee, and that is made specifically of the three tenets to fight intergenerational poverty. So there's the Mayor's Reading Club, Workforce Development, which is DESA, and then the Walton Youth Advocacy Group, which is Tish McCrae. That group, the the Youth Advocacy Board had lip sync battle on Saturday night. The Bridge, who will be here to talk next month, came in first place, and those kids did Black and White by Michael Jackson. They were fantastic. A lot of those kids are stepping out of their comfort zone. So it's just a little something extra that that GMA has pushed, and we've accepted with open arms. So I think we're moving in the right direction there. That being said, I need a motion to adjourn, please. Motion by Ms. Crawford, there's a second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Sams. All in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. That passes.